Hello friends, welcome to Global Online. Friends, if you are preparing for Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti's NVS for PGTs in any subject, then in this video we are going to discuss MCQs on economics. So if you are preparing for NVS Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti's PGTs postgraduate teachers in economics, then this video is very helpful for you. In this video we are going to discuss some important MCQs on economics for your upcoming PGT of NUS in economics. And friends, if you, as you all know the examination pattern, 10 questions will be on general awareness, 10-20 questions will be on reasoning ability, 10 questions on ICT, 10 questions on teaching aptitude, and 80 questions on subject, and 20 questions on Hindi and English, that is language competency test. And friends, if you are preparing for NVS postgraduate teachers in economics, then this crash course is very helpful for you, and this crash course is available for all the subjects. And if you join for this crash course, in this crash course you will get 10 mock tests with solution PDF. Then MCQ lectures are available on all the sections. Practice MCQ set is available, and this crash course is available only at rupees 2000. So if you want to join, you can contact this number, or you can just send a WhatsApp message to this and you can join. So in this section, so if you join this crash course, you will get 10 mock tests on the entire section. So on all the 6 sections you will get 10 mock tests, so including your subject. So in each test you will get 10 questions on general awareness, 20 questions on reasoning ability, 10 questions on ICT, 10 questions on teaching aptitude, 80 questions on your subject, and 10 questions on English, and 10 questions on Hindi. So in this way, in each mock test you will get question, you will be having 150 questions, and after attending the test you will receive solution PDF of the test also. So these mock tests are very helpful for your preparation. Then also you will receive MCQ lectures on all the sections, and also you will receive practice MCQ set on your subject. So this crash course is very helpful for your NVS post graduation teachers preparation. So now let us move to the questions. Here the first question is, which of the following was not emphasized by the new economic policy announced in 1985 by the government? So according to new economics policy 1985, which of the following is not emphasized? Option A, absorption of modern technology. Option B, improvement in the productivity. Option C, lesser role of the private sector. Option D, fuller utilization of the capacity. So as you all know, here new economic policy aimed at the improvement of modern technology. Yes, also it tried to improve the productivity, and also the fully utilization of the resources, and also the new economic policy promoted private sector's role. But here option C is lesser role of the private sector. This is not true according to new economic policy, because according to new economic policy aimed at developing the private sector role. So here option C is correct, because this is not the aim of new economic policy. So the next question is, the second stage of the law of variable proportions is known as the stage of option A, increasing returns to scale. Option B, decreasing returns to scale. Option C, constant returns. Option D, negative returns. So here the second stage of law of variable proportion. So law of variable proportion, I hope you know about the theory. So here there are 3 stages in law of variable proportion. Stage 1. In stage 1, what happens? Total product curve TP increases at increasing rate. And in second stage, what happens in second stage? So we in first stage TP increases at increasing rate, so marginal product curve is also increasing. And in second stage TP increases at decreasing rate, so MP starts decreasing. In third stage total product start decreasing, so marginal product will become negative. So first stage is increasing return, second stage is decreasing return. So here the right answer is option B, decreasing returns is correct answer. So the second stage of the law of variable proportion. So in second stage what is happening? TP increases at decreasing rate, so it is known as the decreasing returns. So here option B, decreasing returns is the correct answer. Yes, the next question is, Which of the following is not a criticism of the LPG policy of 1991? LPG liberalization, privatization, and globalization. The following is not a criticism of the LPG policy 1991. So as we all know, this LPG policy was implemented in the year of 1991. So option A, loss of economic sovereignty to Indian corporate companies. Option B, relative neglect of agriculture as compared to industry and services. Option C, increased dependency on foreign technology. Option D, growing competitiveness of the Indian industrial sector. So here the right answer is option D, growing competitiveness of the Indian industrial sector. This is not the criticism of LPG policy. So because of LPG, economic sovereignty of Indian corporate companies is lost, and related neglect of the agriculture, then increased dependence on the foreign technology. All these are criticism of LPG policy. But for option D, growing competitiveness of the Indian industrial sector, this is not a criticism of LPG policy. The next question is, the fourth round of the trade negotiations under the WTO was held at. Option is Singapore, option B Geneva, option C Doha, option D Hong Kong. Yes, the fourth round of trade negotiations under the WTO was held at Doha. It is also known as the Doha round. So here option C is correct. So the Doha round is the latest round of the trade negotiations among WTO membership, and the main aim of the Doha round was to achieve major reforms of the international trading system. Yes, and also Doha round also introduced lower rate barriers and revised trade rules. And this Doha round covers 20 areas of trade. The next question is, the difference between what a consumer is willing to pay for a commodity and what he actually does pay for it is known as. Yes, the difference between what consumer is willing to pay and what he actually does pay. Option A, consumer surplus. Option B, equilibrium price. Option C, price equivalent variation. Option D, compensatory variation. Yes, here the right answer is option A, consumer surplus is correct answer, because what the consumer is actually pays and what he is willing to pay is known as the consumer surplus. For example, if the consumer is ready to pay 7 rupees for a pen, but the market price of the pen is 5 rupees, then the difference is 2 rupees is known as the consumer surplus here. The next question is, the difference between the employed labor and required labor is called. Option A, disguised unemployment. Option B, cyclical unemployment. Option C, chronic unemployment. Option D, seasonal unemployment. The difference between employed labor and required labor is known as the disguised unemployment. Especially it is taking place in the period of agriculture. So actually the production is low, less number of labors are required, but you are appointing more number of labors. That is known as the disguised unemployment. So disguised unemployment occurs when the productivity is very low and too many workers are filling to few jobs. It is known as the disguised unemployment. So the next question is, liquidity trap is a situation where the liquidity preference curve is. Option A, perfectly elastic. Option B, perfectly inelastic. Option C, vertical. Option D, relatively elastic. So the liquidity trap, it is a situation where the liquidity preference curve is perfectly elastic. So option A is correct here. So in this in the case of liquidity trap, the interest rates are very low, that people are indifferent between whether to hold the cash or whether to buy any other assets. Because of very low interest, people are indifferent between holding cash and other assets, and so here the demand for money is infinitely elastic. The next question is, find the correct ascending order of the following countries in Human Development Report 2018. Option A, India, China and Pakistan. Option B, China, India and Pakistan. Option C, Pakistan, India and China. Option D, India, Pakistan and China. So here the correct ascending order according to Human Development Report 2018 is option C, Pakistan, India and China. The next question is, the Phillips curve shows the trade-off between option A, total income and expenditure. Option B, the rate of unemployment and money wages. Option C, total savings and investment. Option D, aggregate supply and demand. So the Phillips curve is going to show the trade-off between the rate of unemployment and the money wages. So Phillips curve, it is the difference between rate of unemployment and money wages. Yes, here the Phillips curve shows the short-term trade-off between inflation, means money wages and unemployment. So the Phillips curve shows the short-run combinations of unemployment and inflation that arises as shift in the aggregate demand curve move the economy along the short-run aggregate supply curve. So in this way, Phillips curve is going to show the trade-off between money wages and unemployment, or inflation and unemployment. So the next question is, a kinked demand curve of an oligopolist is option A, elastic throughout. Option B, elastic in the upper portion but inelastic in the lower portion. Option C, inelastic throughout. Option D, inelastic in the upper portion but elastic in the lower portion. So a kinked demand curve of an oligopolist is, yes, elastic in the upper portion and inelastic in the lower portion. So a kinked demand curve in the oligopoly market, the upper part is elastic and the lower part is inelastic. So here you can see the picture of the demand curve in oligopoly market. It is having kink here. So the upper portion is elastic and the lower portion is inelastic. So in an oligopolistic market, the kink demand curve hypothesis states that the firm faces the demand curve with a kink. So this point is known as the kink. And here the curve is more elastic above the kink and less elastic below it. The next question is, which graphical method is used to measure the wealth and income? Option A, Lorentz curve. Option B, Wagayev curve. Option C, indifference curve. Option D, Hopper curve. So which graphical method we are using to measure the wealth and income? So here the right answer is option A, Lorentz curve. So we are using Lorentz curve to measure the wealth and income. So Lorentz curve, it is a graphical representation of the distribution of income or wealth in a society. So here you can see the picture of the Lorentz curve. So it expresses the relations between income and wealth. The next question is, macroeconomics does not deal with option A, the theory of economic growth. Option B, the theory of economic welfare. Option C, the theory of income. Option D, the general theory of prices. So macroeconomics is going to deal with it does not deal with the theory of welfare. So macroeconomics deals with the economic growth, it deals with the theory of income, it deals with the general theory of prices, but it does not deal with the economic welfare. So macroeconomics, it is a branch of economics. It is going to study the overall economy. Yes, it studies about macroeconomic aggregates such as inflation, price level, rate of economic growth, GDP, national income, changes in unemployment, etc. The next question is, the foreign trade multiplier is also known as option A, export import multiplier. Option B, balance of payments. Option C, import multiplier. Option D, export multiplier. So here the foreign trade multiplier, it is also known as the export multiplier. So option D, export multiplier is the correct answer. So the foreign trade multiplier means it is also known as export multiplier. It operates like the investment multiplier. and this foreign trade multiplier is defined as the amount by which the national income of a country will be raised by a unit of increase in the domestic investment on exports. So when exports are going to increase, automatically the national income will also increase. So this is known as the foreign trade multiplier. The next question is, which of the following is an important selective control by the central bank to regulate advances is? Option A, open market operations. Option B, varying margin requirements. Option C, varying reserve ratios. Option D, manipulation of the bank rate. So which of the following is an important selective control by the central bank to regulate advances? Here the right answer is option B, varying margin requirements. Option B is correct. So there are two different types of credit controls are there which are used by RBI. One is quantitative credit controls, another one is qualitative credit controls. Quantitative credit controls mean these are used to regulate the volume of credit, and these includes open market operations, variation of statutory liquidity ratio, variation of cash reserve ratio, etc. And the second one is qualitative measures or selective credit control measures. These are used to regulate the flow of credit, and these includes margin requirements, consumer credit regulation, rationing of credit, and moral suasion, etc. The next question is to restrict private investment during the period of inflation, the RBI. So during the period of inflation, to restrict the private investment, what RBI is going to do? Option A, stabilizes the cash reserve ratio. Option B, increase the cash deposit ratio. Option C, decrease the cash deposit ratio. Option D, rises the cash reserve ratio. So in case of inflation, if the RBI wants to restrict the private investment, it is going to raise the cash reserve ratio. So because when the RBI is going to increase the cash reserve ratio, it means that commercial banks have to keep more reserves with the commercial banks. So with the RBI, so if commercial banks are keeping more reserves with the RBI, means they are having less money. Yes, they are commercial banks will be having less money for credit creation, so they will give less loans to the private people. So in this way, RBI can restrict the private investment. So there are various measures are there to control the inflation by RBI. First one is monetary policy. Under monetary policy, credit control measures are there, demonetization of currency, then issue of a new currency. Under fiscal policy, reduction in unnecessary expenditures, increase in taxes, increase in saving, surplus budget, public debt. These are the fiscal policy measures to control inflation. There are also some other measures such as to increase production, rational wage policy, and price control. The next question is, the National Sample Survey Organization was established in option A 1951, option B 1952, option C 1950, option D 1953. Is the National Sample Survey Organization was established in the year of 1950. So this NSSO, it was established in the year of 1950, and it conducts national surveys to assist the planning exercises on scientifically designed sample basis in the country. The next question is, the statement welfare is said to increase or decrease if at least 1% is made better off or worse off with no change in the position of the others was stated by option A V Pareto, option B N Calder, option C J R Hicks, option D W J Baumol. Yes, here the right answer is option A V Pareto, Wilfredo Pareto. This statement, welfare is said to increase or decrease if at least 1% is made better off or worse off with no change in the position of the others. This statement was given by Wilfredo Pareto. It is also known as the Pareto efficient. The next question is, which of the following is not an assumption of Haberler's opportunity cost theory? So option A, trade between two countries is completely free and unrestricted. Option B, factors are immobile between the countries. Option C, factors are completely mobile within the countries. Option D, price of each commodity is equal to fixed cost. So here which of the assumption is not correct about Haberler's opportunity cost? So here option D, price of each commodity is equal to the fixed cost. This assumption is not correct about opportunity cost. So if you go through the Haberler's opportunity cost, here Gottfried Haberler has attempted to restate the comparative cost in terms of opportunity cost, and Haberler demonstrated that the doctrine of comparative cost can hold valid even if the labor theory of value is discarded, and this theory determines the cost of producing a commodity in terms of alternative production that has to be foregone for producing the commodity in question. The next question is, in which model of duopoly each producer believes that his rival will keep his price constant? Option A, F.Y. Edgeworth's model. Option B, E.H. Chamberlain model. Option C, Joseph Bertrand model. Option D, Carnot model. So in which model of duopoly the producer believes that his rival will keep his price constant? So here the right answer is option C, Joseph Bertrand model. Yes, Joseph Bertrand model describes interactions among firms that set prices and their customers that choose quantities at the prices set. And Bertrand assumption is that each seller assumes his rival price instead of his output. So according to Carnot, each his rival is going to keep output constant, but according to Bertrand, his rival is going to keep price constant. The next question is, China introduced economic reforms in option A 1975, option B 1978, option C 1991, option D 1985. Yes, China introduced economic reforms in the year of 1978. So option B is correct. So the Chinese economic reforms, yes, it is also called socialism with Chinese characteristics. Yes, it introduced in the year of 1978. Yes, by Communist Party of China, CPC. Okay friends, this is about today's session, and if you are appearing for postgraduate teachers PGT of Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, here we have a crash course for all the subjects, and if you join this crash course you will get 10 mock tests with solution PDF, MCQ lectures are available on all the sections, practice MCQ set is available. This crash course is available only at 2000 rupees. If you join now you will also receive 30% discount here. So if you want to join this crash course, you can contact this number, you can send a WhatsApp message to this number. Yes, I wish all the best to all. Thank you.